Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, January 22nd. Time is 6:30 p.m. We're in the Eldon F. Murrah Board of Selectmen meeting room on the second floor of Town Hall. Before I ask everybody to stand for the pledge, please be aware this meeting is being recorded for use on the internet and our local cable station. So if you could stand, please do, and join us for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't have a posted public hearing. Is it in there somewhere?
Is it right there?
Pursuant to Massachusetts.
Jeff, do you want to just read off tonight?
Should I make that
Or
bigger?
it's by page 2.
Okay, I'll take it from here then. Okay, we're going to start with a public hearing. Pursuant to Chapter 38 and Chapter 40 of Massachusetts General Laws, a public hearing will be held on Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the Eldon F. Murrah Board of Selectmen Meeting Room, Town Hall, 65 North Main Street, West Bridgewater, Mass. On the application for a new annual all liquor license for Mineros Group DBA Mineros Brazilian Steakhouse located at 269 North Main Street, West Bridgewater. Interested parties are invited to be present and heard. Board of Selectmen, Jeff P. Bryan, Chair. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to open the hearing.
I make a motion to open the hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, good evening. Good evening. Good. So we're starting with a public hearing on the, on what should be a new Brazilian steakhouse, right? Located in the former property known as what was Grand Slam. All right. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on, what you're up to?
So we have one in Rockland, so it's a homemade food, so family business. So we're so excited that we have, open doors here in West Bridgewater. So our goal is to serve families with good food and great service. That's our main goal.
Okay. And not to put you on the spot, but when would you anticipate opening?
We plan to open,
late February or March.
Super.
let's see it.
All right. I've reviewed Sergeant Reagan's application, or information that he's provided with your application. I have no particular questions.
No, other than we're going to go over the generic questions. You're going to ask
Yes.
those in a minute. All right.
Yeah.
You got a big group of people here.
Yeah.
Is this all the family? That's
She's my daughter.
okay. Hello, daughter.
My son,
Nice to see you,
good friend. And she is my partner.
The partner, business
Yes.
partner.
Mhm.
Super.
Okay, right on.
Any-
Is she with you too?
Yeah, she worked with us. She did all the
All the
paperwork
paperwork.
and
Yeah.
all that, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, it's just a big group, and we're all here. And, it's just usually a few-minute thing, but everybody's here, so let's say hi to everybody.
Okay, good, thank
No, everybody's really excited, like we said before, to see a restaurant going in there, and they saw the sign, and there's been a lot of buzz around town already, so I'm excited for you guys.
We are glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So I will ask a question, probably specifically to you two as owners. We ask this question to everybody when we're approving or not approving a liquor license. It's, do you have any questions? Is there anything that's unclear to you about the town's liquor policy, the state's liquor policy? Because now's the time to ask it, as we tend to. We have a rather strict set of rules that we follow should there be a violation or something like that. So I'm just looking for, yeah, you got it, or
No,
you
we
don't.
understand, yeah, we already have in Rockland, so also full liquor license, and all our servers are tip certified. That's
Yeah.
very important to us.
Okay.
Awesome. So you have no questions on the liquor license?
No.
Awesome.
And if you have questions, you can reach out, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Super. Then hearing no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept the Mineros Group Inc., DBA Mineros Brazilian Steakhouse, 269 North Main Street, application for annual all alcohol on-premise liquor license and common vicular license as presented, barring any final inspections.
Second.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. At this
Thank you.
moment,
Congratulations.
I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Super.
You guys are all set, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you guys for being there. Never a problem. Like she said, please reach out if you have any
Yep.
questions.
Absolutely, please, like, in this small town, we definitely want, instead of an issue, please reach out. Even if you think it's a small question, send an email, reach out, we're happy to help, okay?
Same day on our end.
Yep, there you go. Absolutely. That's what he's there for.
Same thing on our end. If there's anything that we need to do, let us know, please.
We appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wish you
Thank
the
you.
best of luck.
Appreciate the
Yep.
help.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
All right, you guys are all set, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you guys. Good luck.
Nice to meet you.
Good luck. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Good evening. All right, the next item on the agenda doesn't necessarily need to be held to 6:45, so we can, well, if Mr. Juth and Miss Nadia are here, we can, if you guys are good and there's nobody else coming or anything else like that, then we can just reopen or continue the public hearing that we had with Chazelle, doing, Chazelle, DBA Chazelle Resto and Lounge, 320 West Center Street, violation of town's alcohol policy and MGL, Mass General Law, Chapter 138. And then, in addition to that, there's a vote that we tabled on an entertainment license last week. So at this point, that we don't need to vote. That meeting is just continued. And I would turn it over to Sergeant Reagan, who again is our liquor agent in town. And if you can give us an update.
Absolutely. Do you want me to sit up here?
Whatever, Matt.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Again, thank you for having me tonight. I appreciate the time. Again, Russell Reagan, Sergeant with the Police Department, and also the liquor license agent for the town. So, since our last meeting, we've had the opportunity, we met twice. I met with Mr. Juth and Ms. Burnett, both yesterday and today, and we spent a good amount of time going over everything thoroughly. Everything looked pretty good yesterday. There were a couple of items that I wanted them to shore up. I went back today, spent some more time with them, and after those two meetings, I'm satisfied with the progress they've made, and everything on my end, from my perspective, is in order and ready to go via the policy and everything that they had to have in order. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm satisfied on my end.
Okay. All right. Congrats on getting up to snuff, for lack of a better.
So Regan, thank you so
fantastic
much
news.
for spending the time and assisting them, and as I see from the other group that was here earlier, thank you for assisting them as well.
My pleasure.
It does not go unnoticed, thank you.
Thank you.
And I was gonna do it at the end, but seeing as how Mike's going, I'll pile on for a minute. I watched close to 3 hours of body cam footage with this incident, and the police department in general, you in particular, as you occupied close to 2 of those hours. I would just wanna say thanks. I was beyond impressed with the professionalism, the calm manner in which you handled them. I'm sitting there going, I couldn't do that.
Well, I appreciate it.
But the way in which everything was handled and maintained at a cool, controlled level, both the first incident as well as the second incident. So, great reflection, I think, on you and on the police department and how well everybody's trained. So,
Thank you.
thank you for that.
Great men and women at the police department.
Yep, no argument.
Yep. I'll echo all of that.
All
Well
right,
said.
So moving back into the hearing a little bit here. I think the town administrator provided us, as well as I think you guys, a formal list of what the egregious and non-egregious items were based on our last meeting and Sergeant Reagan's findings. We have some of them on the screen. I want to just kind of go through them. In the egregious column, allowing patrons to bring in their own alcohol. That happened on 2/12/14. Possessing and serving alcohol when not under license. That was 12/1 and 12/14. The sale of alcohol, having served alcohol, or having alcohol out past closing time. That was on both dates. Attempting to conceal from public view of the police. That was on the 12/14. Fourth and subsequent non-egregious incidents both times. Cover charge on the 14th, procuring alcohol from a non-authorized distributor. We have that down for both. Happy hour drink specials posted on the 14th. And then on the non-egregious side, pretty much all these run except for the last one on both dates. But no copy of the alcohol policy / regulations posted on the premises. no tip certification posted for public view, no 138-34D posters for public view, no dress code rules posted for public view, privacy booth or curtained area, noise complaints, hours weren't posted, and then hookah, which was smoking permitted, that one was just on the last date. We get into, no entertainment license with the DJ both times, and then obviously no entertainment license, there can't be one posted on the premises, which was additional, and then the common vic was just serving food after close. So I don't know if you have any comment on any of those, or you care to challenge any of those. We need to formalize what it is that we're, for lack of a better, charging you with, so that we can look at the number of days as it relates to the penalty, which you've put in a good number of days already. But we need to sort of quantify this and see what the days should have been, see where we're at, see if it's enough or not enough, that kind of thing. So, but I certainly would open it to any comment you might have as it relates to those. So, okay. Do you have any?
How was getting everything, up to speed? Did you guys learn anything? Was there anything that was kind of unfamiliar?
So I just go over the rules, and plus the surgeon helped us getting some the state laws exposed, and I got all the sign.
Yep.
And I apply everything that the way it's supposed to be.
Okay. All right. So I just, it wasn't incredibly difficult, but we just, all the steps were there, we just had to follow them, right? Okay. And I'll say this, it's kind of like, we don't like doing this stuff. Do you know what I mean? We don't like, it's part of the job, but it's not something we enjoy doing. I hope you guys understand that. And I don't think the police department also enjoys doing that part either. All right, but at the end of the day, there's rules and we have to follow them to the best of our ability. And kind of when you hold a liquor license, we kind of expect it. It's an expectation and an implied task that you guys follow these rules that are set forth. I think, from what I understand, did we kind of learn our lesson as to what should be right and what's wrong? Okay. All right, right on.
All right, so Marcy, any comments before?
I just want to confirm that you've read, both of you have gone over the liquor policy and you have a full understanding, no further questions, there won't be any confusion going forward about any of the rules, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
All right. So technically, based on the town administrator's recommendation, you have today is day 37?
That's correct. The license was suspended on December 16th.
Yep.
So through today, that means that their license has been temporarily revoked for a total of 37 days.
In principle, following our rules, it could be suspended for additional 9 days. However, my recommendation, and obviously we have to discuss this, my recommendation at this time, and I'll speak for myself and then these guys will speak, is that you get your license back today. I would hold those 9 days on the books for a future violation. And if you have a future violation, it would be, the result, however many days the result of that violation, plus the additional 9 days. I've grown up, I spent a lot of time in the restaurant business. I know the pain that it is not having a liquor license. I know that it's by far the most profitable piece of the business. And it is not my desire or intention, especially in January where nothing's moving and shaking, to punish you beyond where we are right now, as it, could do irreparable harm, which is not what we're looking to do here. We're looking to learn and move forward. So that would be my recommendation, but it's obviously subject to what Mike and Marcy think as well.
Here we go next. I'd like to echo what he said. And I want to ask you one more time, is there any questions about the liquor license? And I know I know it seems a little bit redundant at this point. At the end of the day, we don't want to see you again for reprimand. You know what I mean?
So one thing I can see, I have the surgeon phone number. So I think if I need anything, I'm gonna call it.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that there is a good amount of resources in the town as well as outside the town. And we really challenge you, if there's a question, please reach out, even if you think it's something small. We are a small town. We like to see our community prosper. We would like to see the businesses here prosper and continue to do well. So again, I'd like to echo everything he said. I am all about making sure you guys are up and running by the time we're done with this meeting. However, I want to be clear. I need you guys to just know that you know this. The sergeant has come in here. He has told us he feels comfortable with what you have going on. That's his word now on your restaurant. So I want to make sure we're crystal clear.
Yeah, so we want the same answer.
All right, right on. Yeah.
Marcy?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be really honest, because the liquor policy states that there's a minimum of days to be handed out as a punishment for the violations, right? And 9 more days is that minimum. So to be honest, I'm in favor of the additional 9 days, because if we're following our own policy, that's what we would be doing. So I'm in favor of the 9 days, and I would not be in favor of putting those 9 days on the books for a future violation, because a future violation in my book would be revoking your license entirely after all of this. So the 9 days on the books wouldn't work for me.
Well, let me, okay, I was gonna clarify, those 9 days are just added to whatever the
Future
future
punishment.
violation, which
Yeah.
could include termination.
Yeah, so that,
Or full revocation, whatever.
yeah, but that's where I stand. I'm clearly going to be outvoted, but I'll make it very clear, I would give you 9 more days, because it's the minimum that we're supposed to give you per our own policy. So I would give you the 9 additional days. And I would have liked to have seen you come in today maybe with something prepared to say, just to kind of, let us know that you have a full understanding. But again, Sergeant Regan is satisfied that you are now in compliance, and that makes me happy. I am happy to hear that. So, I obviously do want you to get your liquor license back, because I want you to be profitable. I want you to succeed. I want any business in West Bridgewater, operating within the law to succeed. But I would vote for the additional 9 days.
All right. Any further discussion? Then I'm gonna make a motion that we return the liquor license at the conclusion of today, back to Mr. Juth and Ms. Furnett. I only had you as Nadia until Sergeant Reagan just said.
Mr. Chairman, before you make that motion,
Yep.
the one thing I would ask is that the premise of the suspension of days is based on the fact that you did find the violations to be egregious. So although I provided a memo, which in my interpretation is accurate, I'm not obviously a member of the board. So
Okay.
I think if you could go through the list, you don't have to name each one, but if you want to say we find all of those as presented as egregious, then you would take that vote, because we will provide a document to Shazel to let them know that's what your findings were, and also whatever decision you make.
Very well.
So I would ask you to do that
Okay.
first.
Any discussion on the document as far as what's egregious and what's marked off? Everybody?
I'm in agreement.
Okay, so let's quickly vote to accept the violations as they were presented by the town administrator.
Make a motion to accept the egregious violations as presented by the town administrator.
I would just add egregious and non-egregious. As
Second.
presented. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so with that being said, at this time, after 37 days, I'm gonna make a motion that the license be returned to Shazella, with an understanding that we are tabling 9 days for a period of 1 year, assuming that there's no violation over that course of the year. Those 9 days, as far as I'm concerned, will drop off. And what will happen is we'll go back to normal policy. To Marcy's point, if there is a violation in the next year, that violation could include X amount of days, plus it will include whatever the punishment is. Now, that punishment or violation could be days, it could be permanent, removal of the liquor license. But if it's not permanent removal of liquor license and it's a violation that results in 3 days, we will add those 9 into it. So we bring that as an example, we bring it up to 12. I just want to make sure everybody's clear.
I'll second your motion,
Okay,
and you're calling the vote.
sure. No?
I'll second your motion and vote in favor.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nope.
Very well. So this time that takes care of the liquor license portion. And now we move on to the entertainment license. I don't have enough room for all the paper, I haven't done it today. So in front of us is also a request for an entertainment license. The entertainment license is from, well, hours of entertainment from 9 PM to 12:30 AM, occasionally, and then Friday or Saturday. Can I just clarify what you were asking for? The occasionally part, like I understand Friday and Saturday, occasionally on Friday or Saturday?
That means it's not every weekend.
Okay,
It's only if we have a request, only.
but there's no weekday involved in the application, it's just Friday and Saturday?
Weekday, sometimes we might have like a birthday.
Okay.
But usually on weekday, we close at 9.
Yeah.
But the latest is on Friday and Saturday. That's the 2 days we might close at 12:30. Because now we know the rule, because we learned the hard way. We're gonna make sure that everything goes smooth with the late news. And one thing I wanted to ask. So does the town doesn't want the name nightclub, or we can do it like with the different ways?
Well, the fundamental issue for me, and we started talking about this at the last meeting, is noise, and it's noise complaints. You are, well, you're obviously in a commercial establishment. Directly across the street from you are a number of houses.
And next door.
And next door, yes, directly next door. You know, as we just had the steakhouse in here before, as well, they weren't for an entertainment license. I was on Google Maps today, trying to better understand what I was about to say tonight. You know, you go to Barrett's, there's no real residences right near Barrett's. You go to they didn't ask for an entertainment license tonight, but you go to the old Grand Slam, what will be the steakhouse. Again, there are no residential properties right there. And I would argue to a certain extent that Barrett's has been there in one form or another for, I don't know, I've been in town for 26 years. It's been there the whole time. And that nighttime format's always been there. If you move there and it's there, it's one thing. But in your case, there really hasn't been DJ music, that type of thing coming out of your particular location throughout the years that we've been here. So I think the expectation for the neighbors is that it's quiet at night, or, you know, I mean, it's 106, so it's not quiet, but they're not listening to, let's face it, a DJ is just the bass and and when the 2 doors are open, that music travels right outside. We've received a couple of noise complaints. So I struggle, to be honest, if you came before us back in March or February and said that you were looking to open a nightclub, our answer then probably would have been no.
So, because I know sometimes names or the way that you promote a business can make a big difference.
Mhm.
Because our thing is just like, sometimes we might have an event, not like the way that, a lot of time, you know, over the internet, you make something that can make people excited.
I understand that. But we gave you your licenses based on you being a restaurant, not a nightclub. So I understand that you would like to advertise as a nightclub just to get people in the door,
Yeah.
but that's not what you are.
Okay.
Okay, so you cannot, I would like to see you not advertise yourself as a nightclub, because you're not. That's not the business plan that you presented to us, that's not what you were approved for, so I would recommend not advertising yourself as a nightclub.
But we can have some karaoke night sometime, right?
Yeah, if we approve your license or your entertainment license, and that's what it states, then absolutely, within reason, if you keep the noise so it's not bothering the neighbors and you're not getting complaints, that's perfectly fine, I'm sure, if we approve the entertainment license. I don't know what I don't know, but
And I promise you guys, 12:30, everything will be closed.
I'm
my words.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Again, for me, it comes back to, I want to work with you on something, but I don't want noise complaints from the neighbors. And I don't, you know, if you're doing karaoke, I only have the view of your restaurant from the time that Sergeant Reagan was in there and the time before that the police were in there, where there was clearly a
Yeah.
DJ set up in the corner, lights, I don't care about the lights, but the music and the volume of the music.
I'm gonna make sure I'm working on it.
And that's sort of the challenge, is we try to issue this license, like I wanna do something that allows you to grow your business, but I wanna respect the neighbors at the same time. In my head, just to start the conversation, and obviously, I'm open to whatever within reasonable sound until probably 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And then after that, I don't know, if that's not to say there's no entertainment, but it goes to non-amplified entertainment or something along those lines.
I think that it's just really hard to have this discussion right now, because we're not approving your entertainment license like for the first time. Like, you're not coming in and asking for it without there already having been an issue, right? We've already had an issue. We've already had the complaint. So it's difficult now to try to say, well, where should that line be drawn, right? Like, my recommendation at some point would be, again, this doesn't pertain to what hours we're going to advise of, but would be to, if you're having music going on, maybe step outside the building, right? And walk a little bit toward the neighbor's property and see if you can hear that noise, right? Because Sergeant Everly, when he pulled up, he hadn't turned on his body cam right away, but he reported, at least to us, that he could hear the music in his vehicle at the far end of the parking lot when he pulled in. So that's obviously unacceptable, right? I mean, and that was at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:47, whatever it was. So, I mean, just paying attention to the sound outside of the building will help you significantly, I think, as far as not disturbing your neighbors and being in compliance, and not getting any complaints. So, I would love to see you have entertainment. I would love to see you profit. I just need to be reassured that you're going to be responsible neighbors, and that's what's important to me. That's what's, yeah.
And to be blunt, noise complaints, however this is issued, noise complaints would bring you back to discuss
And we don't want
the
that.
entertainment license.
I want to see you, but not here.
I want to see you. I want to see you at the bar.
Exactly. I just don't want to see you here unless you're just coming to say hi, So.
So I don't necessarily have the correct wording on this, Mike. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think it's like there's music and then there's music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the point where it's so loud that even the people inside are uncomfortable because you can't host a conversation. I think it's pretty obvious if you're playing music and you can't have a conversation with the person next to you, the music's probably too loud and you can hear it outside, especially after a certain hour. Okay, and you have to think about it as living there. Do we happen to have an overlay to kind of show where their restaurant is? I pulled it up on Google Maps on the tablet, but do we happen to have an overlay? Because I just want them to see how many residents are in the proximity of their restaurant. And then, I mean, it's also important to note that there has been other restaurants there with entertainment licenses, and we've never received complaints like this. Do you know what I mean? We received a really good amount of complaints, and I think that has to do with the, how loud the music was. You know what I mean? I listen to music. I love music. I'm from the Caribbean as well, so I enjoy my music, and I do enjoy my music a little loud. However, I am respectful of my neighbors, and I do know when to turn it down when I'm at home. And I just want to make sure we bring this up so you can kind of see the proximity of residential homes. There is some businesses, but it's a good amount of residential homes across the street. Right next to you, there's a residential home. If you go clickety-click, right there, there's a residential home that close. And then across the street, those are all residential homes, and some of them have children, and yes, they live on Route 106. However, they're still, car noise and music noise are two different booms. I think we could agree with that. My biggest thing is kind of respect. After, what kind of a scene are you expecting to have after, let's say, 10 p.m.?
Well, but for now, we know that everything we're gonna do is started early, and by 10 p.m., it's depend of what we have going on in there, because I know that it's not gonna be the same way it was before, cause with the complaint, cause I don't wanna come here for this thing and I don't wanna lose it too.
Mhm.
So whatever the opportunity that you guys give me, I'm gonna
Yeah, because like,
make sure that I tell you,
Well,
right.
even now, sometimes customers say, can we have a little music? I still do little music, like today, yesterday. We can keep it reasonable. for-
absolutely, and
for
I think what we're looking for is if you're having dinner and if you're having dinner,
Yes,
right?
yes.
If you're having dinner and there's a little bit of music happening and you could still hold a conversation
Yeah.
without having to yell or get up and get in someone's ear to have a conversation, or take your phone out and show them in a text message like, hey, this is what I'm trying to tell you and you're a foot away from me. I think that's obviously too loud, right? But if you could have some music and have a basic generic conversation, kind of like what we're having here,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. It's just, once you start putting a little bass behind it,
Yeah, that's different.
once you start putting a little bass behind it, bass travels. I was a young kid and I had 2 12s in the back of my truck and I used to hum, you know what I mean? I used to thump everywhere I went. But times have changed, okay? Like that bass travels. That's not what we're looking for, okay? Sorry, I had to get descriptive.
No, that's good.
How do you wanna write that up, Mike?
I kind of would like to hear from you guys, and then I'll put a motion on the floor. But I think it's a matter of like entertainment, as far as like the music entertainment, but still, I don't know how to write that. The fact that we'd want to still have a conversation in there, because I think that would regulate it. You could kind of self-regulate it based off of that.
I mean, we can just insist that they're responsible, and if you have to come back, you come back, and you have to suffer that consequence. I'm just going to give you a heads up. The fact that you just admitted that you were playing music is a violation of the policy, right? Like, because you don't have an entertainment license, so the playing the music wasn't a good thing. So
There's no restaurant don't have a little music.
I know, but they all have entertainment licenses.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
not for the teacher, because it's building
Yeah.
like a system.
Yep, I'm not going to argue about it
Yeah.
because it shouldn't be done. So without the entertainment license, do not do it. So that's that. But I think that, we, at this point, if they get complaints and it's too loud, they come back, they suffer that consequence. So it's just all about whether or not you guys are going to, be respectful of your neighbors and responsible with the license.
Okay.
I think there
In
were
my
two
opinion.
things. One, I would request, part of the entertainment license, you don't advertise yourself as a nightclub. Because that's gonna be a noise complaint.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right, it's just straight up. You can't do the members only kind of thing. Now, you can charge a cover charge, but you've gotta comply. There's state law with that, and I just
Okay.
read up on it or ask somebody. But those would be two stipulations that probably belong with the liquor license as much as they do the entertainment license. And obviously you can't advertise alcohol if you don't have the all alcohol license. So those are the three things. Beyond that, I'm looking at the check boxes, right? Disc jockey, karaoke, one can be as loud as the other. So I think to Marcy's point, I would just challenge you to keep the volume, be respectful of your neighbors. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So I would make a motion to approve it, with the understanding that we get noise complaints, you come back. I personally am not gonna be as forgiving, so that's just, I think, your heads up, basically.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I just say that I do play music, like this morning, yesterday. Like we listen to the news
Yeah.
from.
Yep,
So we
we're
can't
past
do
that. No, if you have the entertainment license, you can, yeah. Without the entertainment license, you
Oh,
cannot.
we cannot listen to the news, okay?
Yep. You
Oh, I
need
didn't
to
know
have the
that.
TVs, all those things that are listed right there, those need to be approved by us for you to have them.
So-
That's why they're on there. So, if
So
you
with
don't
the-
have
with
this,
the-
you don't have them.
Hold on, let me ask back to the
Okay.
application, as you are getting some clarification here. Do we want to change that 9 PM to an earlier time?
So, What I will ask the board to clarify is what the hours are going to be. In the application, it says Friday and or Saturday. So at this point, unless the board says otherwise or they make the request, it's also only going to be those evenings.
Mhm.
So you're correct, Mr. Chairman. You need to clarify as to those days and those times.
Because I'm guessing that's not enough, if I'm hearing, like, if you're in there, you're playing music, people are eating dinner, and it's Wednesday night, we want to put Wednesday night on this,
Oh,
Thursday night
because
on this.
for us, we thought that, you know. like
There's just
that-
some confusion, right?
Yeah,
So,
yes.
yeah, and that's why we're here. We
I
can
am
clear that up.
confused.
Yep.
I am confused.
Because we know that the place is built with like a system, like we
Yeah.
have TV,
Mhm.
because every day we display our menus,
Mhm.
or we play like, we put the news, and then the games.
Yep,
But
Mhm.
those, we didn't put
The
it
weather
like,
channel.
we didn't put it like the big sounds, like the way that we say that we can have like a small party on
Sure.
Friday and Saturday.
Mhm.
That's why we put Friday and Saturday, because those the 2 days, because we thought that we can open the other system that's where people's coming for party.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But for that, every day we open our TVs, because that's where we have our menus, and we extend the channel TVs, the news and everything.
yep. So let's capture,
Yep, so what I was gonna suggest is that we can put a stipulation on the license, so this is a Monday through Saturday license, so there's no entertainment on a Sunday.
No.
Okay, so we can stipulate in the license, if the board is okay with this, is that we can say that they have an entertainment license, but specific from 9 PM to 12:30 on Fridays and Saturdays, they are allowed a vocalist, and they are allowed a DJ, and they are allowed karaoke. And if that's inconsistent with what they're looking to do, they should explain that to the board right now.
yeah,
So that way, if they want to run their televisions or the radio or whatever else they want to do during the other hours, they are fully compliant to be able to do
Mhm.
so.
perfect.
That's exactly the way you said.
Okay.
And Friday and Saturday, we might have like a party or like.
Some actual entertainment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super.
And you guys are okay with 12:30? Because I was in favor of noon or midnight, but 12:30.
Yeah, I think 12 is a good compromise, but again, it really is gonna be up to you guys, you know what I mean? So, if you think that 12 is, not too late and you can be responsible with 12, then I'm okay with 12.
Yeah,
We can make so that for
12.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just point out something, it seems that they don't have the dancing by patrons checked off. I know they have the DJ and a dance floor in there, so I don't know if that's relevant.
Good
It is,
call out.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the same page.
Thank you. You would imagine maybe some of your patrons want to dance a little bit?
There's
Yeah.
music, definitely. From the island.
I imagine so,
Like,
yeah.
Can't help
I
it.
would want to dance, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so are we going to capture that too, that dancing?
All right, so if I capture this license right, I'm gonna try to restate largely what David just said. Is that we will make a motion to approve the entertainment license, which will run Monday through Saturday. And on Friday and Saturday, between the hours of 9 and midnight, 12 AM, that entertainment license during that time period will also allow for disc jockey and karaoke. And we're gonna, because it's disc jockey and karaoke, we're also gonna be dancing by patrons. I don't really care if that happens any other night of the week. So those are the two stipulations that, 9 to midnight, disc jockey, karaoke. Otherwise, during the week, the rest of Monday through Saturday, vocalist is fine. That would not be amplified, right? There would just be somebody singing. Televisions are fine. Dancing by patrons, you can dance all day, every day. That's perfectly fine. And then I don't think I've missed anything. Marcia?
Well, they missed something also along the lines that Sergeant Regan pointed out. You didn't check off the jukebox radio stereo piped in. That's your music while people are eating
Yeah.
and stuff. So maybe we'll include that also because I imagine you want that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we can include that as
So
well.
that would be okay
Yes.
Monday through Saturday.
Yeah, exactly, all
Yeah.
times. Yep.
All right. Any questions? Because we just
No,
changed
I
tackle,
just
which
Yeah.
is
did a lot of
submitted.
stuff right
Yeah.
now.
Well, I think, can we have Christine maybe send something to them that
Yeah.
kind of just,
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
They'll actually
Captures all
receive a
that.
license,
Yeah.
and it will stipulate to all of that. So
Okay.
what I would let you know is because the board has approved your alcohol license, you'll be able to pick it up tomorrow, or I'll ask Sergeant Regan to drop it off. I'll talk,
Yeah.
okay. And then secondly, we will then create an entertainment license, and then we'll let you know that you can come and pick it up.
Okay.
And all the stipulations the board is voting on now will be in writing on the license.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion?
No.
You guys good?
All right, you guys are gonna see me coming here for trouble.
All right, hold on, we gotta vote.
All
before you
right.
leave. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor license with the stipulations that have been stated.
Second.
I'm sorry, entertainment license with the stipulation that we presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mike?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right,
Thank you both.
Thank
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rock.
We wish you the best. Sergeant
Yep.
Reagan, thank you again.
Have a good night. Don't hesitate to ask questions.
I have your number.
Good, good.
Give me a call.
All right,
Have a
always
good
around.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. And again, Sergeant Reagan, thank you for both, this has been a
Thank you,
We
Sergeant.
got a whole meeting to finish.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Yep,
Have a good
have a
night.
good night.
Thank you.
Drive safe.
You can stay if you want. We didn't mean to make it sound like
Basketball,
basketball.
Jeff.
All right.
All right. Find the agenda again.
Yes,
And
Jeff,
close that license. Yeah. So at this point, I take a motion to close the public hearing on Chase L.
Make a motion to close the public hearing on Chazelle.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And do we need to close the entertainment license?
Yeah, it was all one. It was, I verified it was posted as all, it was opened as all one.
Super. All right, moving along. First item on the agenda after the public hearings. Warrants, boards, of selectmen business. A vote to remove Assistant Town Accountant Sue Kennett as authorized representative and authorized reporter for the ARPA grants. I'm gonna read the second one along with it. And that's a vote to appoint consultant Jennifer Thompson as authorized representative and authorized reporter for the ARPA grant. So, basically, at the last meeting, or one of the last meetings, we approved a recommendation to have a consultant tie out all the ARPA funds. And as part of that, the consultant needs access to those funds. So, David remains as a signatory or representative as well. And then putting Jennifer on it gives her access to all that stuff so that she can do the work she's gonna do.
Yep.
Any conversations?
Nope.
Nope.
I'll entertain a motion for both.
Make a motion to remove Assistant Town Administrator Sue Kent as authorized representative and authorized reporter for the ARPA grant, and appoint consultant Jennifer Thompson as authorized representative and authorized reporter for the ARPA grant.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next item. Ironically, he's not here. He's here every night.
So I did reach out to him. He got called into work.
Okay. So the next item is to a vote to appoint Alfred, also known as to us as Al G. Crockett III, to the Rent Control Board. Al's attended numerous amounts of our meetings. He's definitely involved with what goes on in town. I've seen him here. I've seen him at planning board meetings. I've seen him at ZBA meetings. So I'm excited to place him on a board and get him not only being here, but getting a vote make a difference as well. So
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion, barring any discussion, I'll entertain a motion to put Al on the rent control board.
Yeah, I'm glad we put out a call for help and he responded, so I'm happy to make the motion to appoint Alfred Al G. Crockett III to the Rent Control Board.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Super. The next item on the agenda, we're gonna table, and that's a request to vote from Town Clerk Diana Telly, and it's got to do with the upcoming election, but we'll bring that up at the next meeting. Next on the agenda is the annual town meeting. There's a couple of bullet points underneath it. The first is to set the date of May 12th to hold the annual town meeting, and that'll be at the Middle Senior High School Auditorium, and that will take place at 6 p.m. So I will entertain that motion.
I make a motion to set the date of May 12th, 2025 at the Middle Senior High School Auditorium for town meeting, annual town meeting,
At 6
Second.
p.m.
at 6 p.m.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so now that we've set the date, the next thing we do is we open the annual town meeting warrant. And that allows different departments and different boards to request stuff to be placed, request items to be placed on the town warrant. So at this point, I'd make a motion to open the town warrant, and while we're at it, and talk about set a closing date for the annual town meeting. So we open it today. My recommendation is we close it on March 26th at 4 PM.
All right.
So, hearing any discussion? None? So, all right, I'll take a motion for the both of those.
I make a motion to open the annual town meeting as of today and to set the close date for the annual town meeting as March 26th at 4 PM.
Super.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can't believe we're there already. Back
Oh,
to
I
town
know.
meeting.
We're back
And on the
again.
agenda, we have a bunch, on the screen, we have the dates up there for all the budget meetings that we have coming up. So there's a lot going on. I believe the budgets are due at the end of this week, and we start that process with our next meeting. So here we go, round 2 for some of us, round
Yeah.
3, 5, 6 for
Yeah.
some of us. But it's always an interesting time, so. Next on the agenda, approve the meeting minutes of December 18th, 2024.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of December 18th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, accept the meeting minutes of January 8th, 2025.
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of January 8th, 2025 for review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, there is no communication reports, boards from town officials, no correspondence to the public to determine a course of action. There is no public, not the Fen Ben from cable TV in the corner, but there is no other public looking to comment, so we'll move that along and go to the town administrator's report.
So thank you. So I'm going to table the solid waste contract discussion. With Monday being a holiday, we had to place this on Friday. As of Friday, still had not had a contract. However, I did receive one earlier today. I need to obviously vet it, and so it'll be before you at your next meeting. Annual fire permit fee, a request from the fire chief. We currently charge $5 for that permit fee, and the chief believes that especially where it's been so dry, and we've had some drought over the past 6 months, and we know in other parts of the country where fire has been a real issue, obviously, as well, with tragic consequences. He wants to make sure that as many people that are going to burn are going to come in and pull that permit. So as a result, he's requesting that we reduce the fee from currently $5 to $0, hoping that's going to motivate more people to come in. The intent is never to make money. The intent is to make sure the fire department knows where burning is going on, so that way if something does get out of hand, they know where to respond immediately. The Board of Selectmen set all fees under the jurisdiction of the Board of Selectmen, which the fire department is, so we require a vote of the board. So I'll ask you to honor the fire chief's request and to reduce the fee down to 0.
All right. I have no issue
No
with it.
objection. Yeah.
No? All right. Entertain a motion to change the annual fire permit fee from $5 to 0.
I make a motion to accept the annual fire permit fee of 0.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Thank you very much. Next is that we'll recall that we went to town meeting a few months ago, and at town meeting we did purchase 0 Howard Street, which was a little over 7 acres for $430,000. Last week, on January 15th, we executed and we closed on that piece of property. So the town now formally owns it. There is a HUD statement that does have to be signed by the Board of Selectmen. I have provided that. The seller has already signed it. The town council has recorded what he can record, but we want to record this as well. So as a result, I will ask the board to take a vote to accept the HUD closing statement as presented, and I'll ask you to sign it as well.
Entertain that motion. Hearing no discussion.
I make a motion to accept 0 Howard Street and execute HUD closing as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. You'll recall at the last meeting, literally hours before the meeting, we had the meeting, the SJC case came out in reference to the town of Milton pertaining to the MBTA Communities Act. I advised you at that time that the SJC had ruled that the state, that they had found that the legislature and the governor had enforcement authority to be able to require an MBTA zoning overlay district, and to also allow the Attorney General to sue and the governor to impose punitive damages if towns do not comply. I have a lot of energy on this, and it's not productive to probably get into it at this point, so I won't. However, one item of note and this is why I have so much energy on this, is that shortly after that decision, the governor released, the Fire Chiefs Association was notified that the governor is not going to, if you're a non-compliant MBTA community, is that they are not going to fund fire safety grants. Not part of the original legislation, but with her newfound powers, she has decided to exercise it. It's within her right. She was elected. And so she's exercising what she believes is within her purview to do. I find it awfully ironic that it's what's happening in Los Angeles and the fact that we were in a drought and everything that we've discussed about fire, that this is what we're going to target. And I also think it's entirely unfair to the fire departments out there. Part of why I also have energy is the fact that I just don't find that it should be fair or legal, probably constitutional, but again, not a constitutional attorney, that residents pay taxes, you pay sales tax, you pay payroll tax, you pay fees, you pay registration fees. All of that money goes to the state, and then because town meeting is held, apparently you have to be compelled to vote a certain way, and if you don't, then part of the fees and taxes and charges that you pay do not come back to the town. I just don't think that's right. In addition to that, I think if the resident who maybe would be in favor of the MBTA Communities Act voted for it, and if the town didn't vote that way, that person or persons also is on the recipient end of those punitive damages as well. And in this case, apparently it's our fire departments. So I know the town of Needham recently just didn't vote for it. I don't know if the town of Needham receives fire safety grants. I have no idea. I just don't see why it would be fair to that department. And obviously, we're going to have a vote in May on this. It'll have to be part of the calculation when people make their vote. But in my personal, humble opinion, I don't think it should be. So anyway, if there's anything else you want to discuss on this matter, well, obviously, thank you to all three of you. Tracy and her department did an excellent job of doing a lot of work on this. I've been part of the committee, but she's done a lot of work on this, and we've had public hearings, and we've informed people that we have to do. So I think everybody knows what's out there. But I'll answer any questions in particular to this case, if there are any.
No, I'll echo a lot of what you just said. I am, I'll echo it with an asterisk, and the asterisk goes out to the public, because I hear a lot of negative energy about this, but I also have heard a lot of negative energy about several things. But when it comes to town meeting, 2%, 3%, 5% of the population show up.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is, I am, the town chooses to fight this, I'll stand, stand either way, whatever the town decision is.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to echo, I don't like the fact that we're being allowed to vote but told how to vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's fundamentally wrong, to take issue with it. I struggle, I understand the need for affordable housing, but I can't wrap my head around a 140, 150 unit apartment building in this town. It does not fit. And I know there's a lot of talk about not in my backyard type of thing, but that structure in this place is unique. It would be unique to the town, and not, I think, in a positive way. So I am, with all that being said, as the governor seems to be free to apply more pressure or more financial pressure to towns, it also, come May, we might have a different outlook on it, where it's not as easy to, as much as you want to fight it, to what extent do we want to fight it? And to how much does it cost to fight it? And, that'll be up for the town to decide ultimately at the end of the day. But I believe there's a lot of energy in that regard. But again, our town meetings have been attended with 200 people, 300 people, and there's 7,000 people in town, so that's just not cutting it. They're probably not all voting age, but there's still 4,000 or 5,000 people that are voting age, and the small percentage of it showing up is not what we need at this next meeting. We need a large crowd.
I would strongly encourage everybody who has an opinion or energy either way to show up and vote at that meeting. Like you said, we get a very, very small percentage of people coming out to town meeting, but you get a lot of voices based, discussing the decisions that were made and things that were voted on at town meeting, and I hear a lot more voices than I see faces. So I do strongly urge people to come out and speak your mind and vote your conscience and do it. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, and I think our challenge as a town, and we're close to kicking off the new website. We have some other additional forms of communication, both at the transfer station, things along those lines, is to get this May 12th date out there now, as soon as we can, and maybe work with the town moderator and get that out there and get that posted and make sure people understand that the MBT Act will be one of many. I don't think half the public understands that, the budgets, nothing's approved here, everything here is recommended.
Yep.
And the $40+ million we spend is always approved at town meeting, so,
Exactly. Yep.
hopefully we get more people there.
Yep.
David, to your recollection, to your knowledge, has there ever been a time in this state where there's been consequences based on a vote that involves the loss of grants for public safety and other grants?
To my knowledge, no.
Because my biggest thing is not necessarily on the what, but the consequences. Granted, the important thing of this country is the ability to vote, and to not agree and take it to a vote, and there be no consequences or repercussions based on a direction of vote in either direction. So I would like to do some digging in, if you will, to see this, because I'm hearing the same thing as everybody else as far as what the sentiment is in town. I mean, I think more people are upset about the consequences than anything else, because you start removing aid that we all technically pay for in the form of taxes, and there's certain things you would like to see returned to town. So basically, we're going to potentially lose funds on a vote that should be our right as U.S. citizens.
Agreed.
Yep.
So we know May's going to be interesting.
So.
All right.
And last is that a good piece of news is, years ago we did sign up for electrical aggregation. It is a lot of work. I'm not going to say it's not. But you know what? The savings is there. And so you'll see in the last 3 months alone or third quarter of 2024, in an aggregate, our residents saved $254,000, or had an opportunity to save, because not everybody signed up. But if you did sign up, you saved $255,000. And as you can see over the course of a year, it's about $1 million. And so that's a lot of money. And so if people could keep it in their pocket instead of giving it to National Grid, I'm not so sure why that's a bad thing. So.
No, it is. And, if you're watching, I mean, I was in town when this started and instantly got enrolled and never looked back from it. But if you're moving into town, you don't instantly get enrolled, and it's worth reaching out and joining. And I also want to say thank you to David, because I know this takes hours and hours of your time putting this together, or getting the aggregation together. I know you just renewed and re-upped back in November, so you, more than anybody else, are saving the presidents a good chunk of change. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, every time we have to renew it, I always sit there and I look at all of it and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of work. But then you see this and you feel good about it, because all of us, you run because you want to serve people at West Bridgewater. That's what we all do. So your next meeting will be on February 5th, and as the chairman alluded to earlier, you will kick off your budget season. You will start your budget hearings on that night. But your next meeting is on February 5th.
Super. All right, at this time, I'm going to make a motion to enter into executive session, adjourn the public portion of the meeting. The motion specifically is I would like to entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, specifically the fire union, and for purpose of discussing strategy and preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically the conservation agent, the DPW director, town planner, and the Board of Selectmen executive assistant. Since in my opinion as chair, strategizing an open session would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town. The board will not reconvene in an open session, and this requires a roll call vote.
Lee,
Perez,
yes.
yes. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Lee, yes.
Ryan, yes.